It's the second video of today, and welcome back to Disturbing Reasons to Be Afraid of the Dark. We are taking a different term today. We are going to be talking about UFO encounters, but first we have to learn the classifications of all the close encounters. Should be interesting. I got creeped out while doing it. While I doing my research last night, I was actually scared to fall asleep. I was like, I didn't go to sleep till 5:40 because I was so scared that they were going to come and get me because I thought about it too much. I know it sounds silly, but if you watched it for a con, you understand what I mean. It's really, really unsettling. I'm scared I was still to this day because of it. And then to make it worse, I read an article last night about this woman that used to see owl people aliens. I wasn't very prepared for that. It made my hate for owls grow by like 5,000%. But I was really scared. But first, before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to Shane Dawson. I've been watching your videos for the past 2 days. I laughed so hard. If I'm having a bad day or like a bad morning and I'm not feeling well, I'll watch your videos, and you and your husband, I don't know if y'all married, but y'all make me laugh so hard. Garrett too is so funny, and I enjoy the videos. But anyway, I wish you luck. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a good Christmas and a good New Year. But anyway, let's get started with this video. My husband requested this video, so I will do it for him. I do not mind, because I love him. But shout out Doza. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, I'll read you the classifications of close encounters. And then the next video, probably the next 2 videos, because they're really long, I'll do examples of all the close encounters. I know, I'm awesome. It was like 6 hours of research. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Well, no. I started at 10 and I didn't stop till 3. So no, that's... Well, yeah, that's 6 hours. Oh my goodness. I have no life. Anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna make myself depressed. Okay, let's get started. Look at it. It's not falling. Second time it didn't fall. I feel so lucky today. And all the classifications of close encounters I got from the Wikipedia. So I did not write these myself. These are actually stated. Not all of them are recognized by the UFO community or the UFO scientists that do all that, whatever they do. I guess handle everything. I don't know, but whatever. But I did get that from that, and the other ones are articles I got from BuzzFeed. The ones that give you examples of classified close encounters I got from BuzzFeed. And another, I think it was all BuzzFeed. I think it was all BuzzFeed. I hope so. But anyway, let's get started with the classification of close encounters so I can fill this video up for y'all. And I'll post pictures of up here of the creepy aliens. By the way, fourth kind is not real. I looked it up because that's what my husband wanted me to do this video on. I was like, wait, I gotta make sure this movie is real before I even, make a video on it, because I'm gonna look like I don't do research, like I'm just petty. I just throw anything out on the internet and I don't know what I'm talking about. Then that's gonna damage my rep. So I looked it up, and it's not real, because the lady that played the so-say real Abigail Taylor is actually an English actress. She acts in England, so the thing was faked. But the one thing that is intriguing, that got my brain sparking, and Shane Dawson, conspiracy theory, hello. No one ever heard of Abigail Taylor. No one known. But what I found weird, the sheriff was weird. The sheriff is a real person, and the sheriff didn't want to have nothing to do with the reporters that were investigating the story. And all he did really say was there was a string of disappearances throughout Nome, and still is, that some went unsolved, but some of them they found like in lakes after the winter finished, like they drowned, they fell in the ice like ice fishing, and they couldn't find their bodies until spring would come. That's the only, that got me thinking, like, wait, y'all saying this isn't real, but the sheriff is real. And some people say that her child was real. The little girl that went missing, when she went blind after her father was murdered. Murdered or suicide, whichever one it is. No one knew in the movie. It was all crazy. I didn't get that part. But anyway, let's get started before this video gets too long, because already at 5 minutes. Can't do 15 because I'm on my phone. Anyway, classifications of close encounters. And forgive me, some of these words are really big scientist words, and I don't want to say them. I'm ashamed. But anyway. In UFOlogy, a close encounter is an event in which a person witnesses an unidentified flying object. The terminology and the system of classification behind it was started by astronomer and UFO researcher John Allen Hynek, and was first suggested in his 1972 book, The UFO Experience, A Scientific Inquiry. He introduced the first 3 kinds of encounters. More subtypes of close encounters were later added by others, but these additional categories are not universally accepted by UFO researchers. Close encounters of the first kind. Visual sightings of an unidentified flying object seemingly less than 500 feet away that show an appreciable angular extension and considerable detail. I guess it's as long as you, and not just the light, you have to see like the detail of the ship. Like you have to know the shape of the ship, the color, and I guess stuff like that. I guess that's what they mean. These are really big words. I mean, I looked them up. That's what considerable and appreciable. In other words, you have to appreciate the design of it. Close encounters of the second kind, a UFO event in which a physical effect is alleged. This can be interference in the functioning of a vehicle or electronic device, animals reacting, or psychological effects such as paralysis or heat and discomfort in the witness, or some physical trace like impressions in the group, scorched or otherwise affected vegetation, or a chemical trace. In other words, crop circles. Close encounters of the third kind, UFO encounters in which an animated creature is present. This includes humanoids, robots, and humans who seem to be occupants or pilots of UFOs. Close encounters of the fourth kind. This is scary. A UFO event in which a human is abducted by a UFO or its occupants. Well, that was really short. That's all they said for fourth kind. You getting abducted, that's the fourth kind. Anything with you getting taken into that ship, you being abducted, that's the fourth kind. Anything to do with abduction equals fourth kind. Close encounters of the fifth kind. A UFO event that involves direct communication between aliens and humans. This type of close encounter was named by Steve M. Greer's CSETI group. I guess that's close something, I don't know. And is described as, this is one of them words. I think it means communication, like you talk to someone, like y'all receiving each other's words. Contact experiences through conscious, voluntary, and proactive humans starting to cooperate and communicating with extraterrestrial intelligence. Close encounters of the sixth kind. Death of a human or animal associated with a UFO sighting, although some might consider this as more severe example of a second kind encounter. Close encounters of the seventh kind. The creation of a human-alien hybrid either by sexual reproduction or by artificial scientific methods. And that's just silence, because that's just wrong. That's like rape. But anyway, let's get this done so I can get y'all telling y'all about the stories. Close encounters of the eighth kind. The connection that takes place because it has been determined by the being of the other planet, choosing the person with whom he will maintain this connection. This is the last close encounter. In other words, either they maintain connection or they terminate you. No, like, I think it's much worse than a Terminator. I did this because it is considered paranormal. I love it. I mean, I've always been interested. I actually had a close encounter of the first kind. I was really excited. It was me and my daddy. I love you, Daddy, just in case Mama's watching this. And she tells him. But we were standing in our old house's front yard, and I was about to leave and go back home. My grandparents and my mama and Daddy lived like almost like not even a few blocks from each other. So I would walk back and forth with my son at the time, because I used to live with my grandparents and my mom and them I switched houses. And we were standing in the front yard. We were just talking, looking up at the stars, because he's the one that taught me about the stars. He's the one that got me interested in all the planets. I love astronomy. But it's just so complicated. I'm not good at math, so that just sent that down here for me. But we're standing in the front yard, and we're looking up at the sky, looking at the constellations and stuff like that. And we're looking for Mars. And when we were looking for Mars, we saw a star. We were like, we both know the stars pretty well, and we look at them all the time. And I was like, that's not a star. And he was like, you're right. I was like, that's not supposed to be there. And we were just staring at it, then it blinked. And then before we knew it, it moved just an inch, like downward. This wasn't no plane, because it was stationary. And there was no blinking lights. And it moved down. And then it went for a little while, like it went up. And then it shot in light speed. And I flushed so bad. I was like, I just saw a UFO for the first time in my life. I hope they don't come back, I said to myself. Like, I was scared that night. This was before I watched The Fourth Kind, and then after I watched it, I was like, wait, there's stages? So you mean after this I could get second, third? Oh no. I wish there was some kind of herb you could put around your house to make them go away just in case, because I do live in the country now, so it's kind of unnerving. But I hope nothing like that ever happens to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, comment. I hope you enjoyed this. So stay tuned for the next video of stories of close encounters. It's gonna be really interesting. I'm gonna do that in 2 parts because the articles are really long. But remember, my friends, stay scared. Nikki Luz.